Israel's military has deployed troops to additional points in Lebanon on Tuesday. The military also carried out strikes on Hezbollah targets in Beirut on a second day of strikes in the Lebanese capital. The military said it killed a senior Hezbollah official and also struck the group's command centers and weapon depots. In return, Hezbollah said it targeted 3 Israeli military air bases. The tit-for-tat comes after the death of Iran's Ayatollah Khamenei. His killing triggered waves of rocket and drone attacks on Israel by Hezbollah, prompting Israel to respond with airstrikes against the militant group. According to the Lebanese Health Ministry, at least 52 people were killed and 154 wounded in Lebanon. Israel's raids also caused mass displacement across the country. The Lebanese government slammed Hezbollah for attacking Israel and involving itself in the joint US-Israeli war with Iran. Hezbollah claims its actions are illegitimate and says it's a retaliation for Israel's near-daily strikes on Lebanon, despite a ceasefire reached at the end of 2024.
We have been hearing several military jets flying overhead here this morning in Dubai, but it appears that most of those interceptions of drones are taking place now over the water out at sea. Abu Dhabi did take a brunt of attacks last night, and further afield, the US Embassy in Saudi Arabia was hit by 2 drones, which resulted in a fire and also some damage there. Now, overnight, the USA and Canadian embassies have ordered evacuation orders to citizens living here in the UAE. The Canadians actually took that a step further and did indicate specific land exits and border crossings for any citizens that do want to leave the UAE into Oman and also into Saudi Arabia. Now, in terms of flights, we are still hearing a select few from DXB, the main transit hub here in Dubai, are still continuing to leave today. Obviously, once again, we are advising, and they are as well, to make sure you contact your airline before leaving. Do not go to the airports. There was a nice sign of reassurance here in the UAE last night, as the President of the UAE, as well as the Minister of Defence, was spotted actually out and about in Dubai Mall. They were talking to shoppers, tourists, residents alike, giving a real sense of reassurance about our stability and also about our sense of security here in the UAE. Jane Witherspoon, Euronews in Dubai.
The Greek Navy frigates Kimon and Psara have been sailing towards Cyprus since Monday evening as part of efforts to bolster the island's air defenses. In addition, 4 Greek F-16 fighter jets are already stationed at Paphos Airport. Greek Defense Minister Nikos Dendias and Chief of the Hellenic National Defense General Staff, Dimitris Houpi, are in Cyprus to evaluate the threat. These moves are part of the activation of the Greece-Cyprus Joint Defense Doctrine, confirming that Athens and Nicosia are operating with a common strategic plan in case of a threat. Concerns were raised on Tuesday morning in Akrotiri when an alarm was sounded for an imminent attack on the British base, but a few minutes later the message was retracted, with officials confirming it was a mistake. The Cypriot news agency reported that France is sending anti-missile and anti-drone systems and at least 1 frigate to the Mediterranean island. Meanwhile, Germany is reportedly considering similar action following a phone conversation between Chancellor Friedrich Merz and Cypriot President Christodoulides. Greek media reported that US-made Patriot missile defense system batteries are being transported to Karpathos to enhance defenses.
It's been a busy morning at border control in Astara between Iran and Azerbaijan. The government has made a decision to help its local citizens back into the country and foreign nationals to transit through. So this is the area, as you can see around me, where those people who have fled the conflict in Iran come through, and this is the security area. I've been told that over 500 Russians are coming through. This is the beginning of that queue, and they know that now that they've arrived here, they will be able to transit through the country, through Azerbaijan, and travel safely back to their country of residence. This family from Pakistan travelled from Tehran, a tough journey with heavy suitcases and young children.
We were living in Iran, so we came here by road from the border. We crossed the border.
How was the journey?
It was good. It was good. We came from the bus to the border, and then we come here. It was like blasting here.
I've been told by officials that once they do get that safe passage from Iran to come here into Azerbaijan, then they are guaranteed that they will be safe. Now, we have had a huge cohort of Chinese nationals come through, and we are expecting more. So far, official figures suggest over 300 people have made the journey through this crossing. For those who make it, the relief for a guaranteed safe passage is clear.
I'm so happy that I'm come here because, there is so bombarding in Tehran. And 2 days ago, I left from Tehran to reach Astara. And now I'm safely. Yeah, so relief.
The numbers of those using the Astara corridor are increasing day by day, hour by hour. But once they're here, the hot cup of chai and a smile will be the start of the next leg of their journey home.
The conflict in Iran will likely trigger an increasing amount of geopolitical cyber attacks in the coming days, according to an executive at Palo Alto Networks, the world's largest pure-player cybersecurity vendor. Scott McKinnon, who is the company's chief security officer for Europe, warned of a surge in cyber attacks by nation-state actors, including Iran. Cyber attacks reportedly took place on Saturday alongside the US-Israeli attack on Iran. News websites and the calendar app Beit Saba were reportedly hacked and displayed messages telling users it's time for reckoning. The UK's National Cyber Security Centre named Iran, alongside Russia and North Korea, as one of the primary state-sponsored actors behind attacks on Western infrastructure. Nation-states are prioritizing attacks on critical national infrastructures, such as telecommunications networks, energy grids, and financial systems, an executive at Palo Alto Networks told Euronews. Defense strategies will now need to evolve, the executive said.
What we've been seeing is quite surprising and shocking, really, because we know that over the last few years, the sea ice in Antarctica has changed dramatically. And in 2022, 23, 24, we had record low sea ice years. And in those years, in the areas that we've been looking at, which is about 30 to 40% of the emperor penguin population, the sea ice went out from underneath the molting emperor penguins, which possibly led to many of them going into the water and many fatalities. They're not bald like a plucked chicken. Their new feathers push out the old feathers, but they're not waterproof at this stage. And that means that if the ice breaks out from under them while they're molting, they go into the water without their wetsuits, as it were, and then they will become hypothermic and could die. The sea ice has gone from many parts of Antarctica in just a few years and has devastating consequences for the seals, the seabirds, the whales and the penguins that survive on that sea ice. Now, this is happening in Antarctica now. It's not science fiction. This is actually happening.